Our last presentation this morning before we break for lunch is going to focus on knowledge and unleashing the full power of artificial intelligence. And we've got two people today from Microsoft who are going to come up on the stage to talk about that. So let me call up Sophia Velastegui and Stephen Flanagan on the stage. You guys need chairs.
No, we don't need chairs.
Okay, good. All right, go ahead.
Hello, everyone. Thank you for coming. My name is Sophia Velastegui. I'm the General Manager of Products in the Microsoft Knowledge and Conversation Group. And this is Stephen Flanagan, the Senior Program Manager in the group. And we're very excited to be here. As I was coming here, it reminded me of a story. Earlier in my career, I was in semiconductor, and my parents asked me, "What do you do?" And I decided I work and design on equipment that makes the brain of a computer. And this was during the revolution of personal PCs. And they said, "I don't understand what that is. Send us a picture." So I sent them a picture of me in a clean room bunny suit with safety glasses and so forth in front of my equipment. And they said, "I know exactly what you do." Then a couple months later, I visited them in New York City and went to their church, was sitting next to them, and the pastor was praying and said, "Let us pray for Sister Sophia, as she's going to be the first Korean-American astronaut." So they had no idea what I did at all. I tried to correct that. And it was at that point I decided to change my career and focus on technology that enables everyone to be able to use it. The same goes with Microsoft and their value of AI, is how do we empower everyone to benefit from this? So why now? You've heard from multiple speakers, and why now for enterprise is the fact for three areas. It's because of the advancement in AI. Secondly, is the computing power that's available today. Third is the fact that we have a copious amount of data that's available and being created every day. And this leading to multiple opportunities of $1.2 trillion is estimated revenue, or shifted revenue is expected in the next 3 years because of AI. And 85% of enterprise will be using AI by 2020. These are some of the Microsoft advancement in AI that we're very proud of. In 2016 was object recognition in parity to humans. In 2017 was speech recognition. January, earlier this year, we had machine reading comprehension achieved. And then March was machine translation. The AI transformation, and these are some of the examples we see, is first we have the conversational and digital agents. Bots are critical to customer engagement, tool to build customer loyalty and competitive advantage for businesses. Second, we have intelligent applications because of the mass shift from developers and businesses making specific business application utilizing information, data, and intelligence. And third is the business processes that will be changing across all areas in industries and companies. I would like to provide a demo of a partnership we have with Publicis and Microsoft working in this amazing team. Publicis is a global advertising agency, and we work with them on Marcel, which is an AI productivity platform, so that could help connect their data across their organization and empower their employees. To give them an understanding of Publicis' scale, is they have 80,000 employees, 1,200 entities, 200 specialties, and thousands of clients. They estimated they have 5 billion files that needs to be organized. And Marcel is a platform, once completely built, there's multiple experiences that can be launched and capable to their employees. I want to talk about two. One is finding experts. Whenever they have a new product or project that's going to be enabled, they want to find experts across their organization. And so you can ask, I want to find a terrific graphic artist near New York City, and have complex queries that you can go and dive into further to get to your needs. Secondly, it's doing case study analysis of things of interest, such as previous work that they've done in creativity as well as data analysis. So I want to show you a demo of the Marcel platform that we have.
Marcel will connect all 80,000 of us in a lot of new ways that will change how we work. And here's a big one. Marcel can help you pinpoint just the right person around the world with the right skills and experience to help on your project.
How can I help you today?
Hey Marcel, I'm looking for an expert in retail with experience in product launches.
I found a few. Anything specific you're looking for?
Have any of them worked on Samsung?
I'd recommend speaking to Ashton.
Marcel is smart enough to know that she's worked with my client before. She really is the right person to help. And now I can set up a meeting with her right from the app. If you're stuck or need some quick input, Marcel helps you turn 80,000 colleagues into the ultimate creative resource. Just ask, and Marcel helps target the right brains to help. Here we see Rocan is naming a new brand of tea, and I've got an idea. I just type my brilliance here. I can see what others have suggested. And on the other side of the world, the team at Rocan can take the best input and run with it. Marcel can help you hone in on just the case studies you need to see fast. Today, I'm working on a brief to help a CPG client leverage their data. I'm looking for case studies that combine data and creativity.
This Goulburn Valley work is relevant to the category and should excite the foodie in you.
Marcel will get to know each of us and make intelligent recommendations like this one, based on our interests and experience. I can learn more about the project and watch the case study.
Goulburn Valley created a GPS labeling system.
And best of all, Marcel lets me reach out to the team that made it.
Would you like to continue exploring in the Ken archive?
And if I still want to dig deeper, Marcel gives me access to great resources like the Can Archive. So inspiration is never more than a conversation away. Now we can become one team, 80,000 strong, by collaborating on projects across companies and around the globe. Here's a brief from the CMO of Walmart.
You're about to get a brief from us and an opportunity for us to change the way that people think about Walmart.
I'm excited about the chance to work on this, so I'm going to apply. The team who owns the project can choose the collaborators. A week later, I learn I made the team, and I can collaborate right from the app. Marcel will change how we work by making the right connections to knowledge, opportunity, and the incredible diversity of talent all around us. And that will change everything.
So that partnership and Marcel really states some of the benefits that AI has. So we talked about the digital assistant, and 95% of customer interaction will take place via bot by 2025. Bots are critical to customer engagement, to build customer loyalty, and competitive business advantage. Gartner reports 60% of customer inquiries related to app development will be about bots. And the top two major use cases that we're seeing are in customer service and HR. And Microsoft has the most powerful bot platform that can be leveraged and further customized with cognitive services. Intelligent apps. As you can see, Marcel was an app specific for publicist use case and environment. 75% of apps will be infused with AI by the end of 2019 because of the fact there's a massive shift between developers and enterprise creating custom business application to leverage these intelligence and data. And there's two areas that's infusing this case. One is infusing AI in every app, making them smarter, intuitive, and customizable, leveraging natural language. And number two is a knowledge extraction, so you can have further and deeper insight into the company. Transforming your business processes. Just as software were key to the competitive edge advantage for companies across industries, the use of AI to get smarter and more agile will become critical. And 85% of enterprises will be using AI by 2020. And the top 3 industries that are the forefront in leveraging AI is financial service, and you heard that in some of the previous speakers, for risk analysis, fraud detection, and customer next step and advice, as well as retail, which is further personalization of the customer experience, dynamic pricing, and advanced retail planning. And third is manufacturing. How can we do predictive maintenance of machinery, operation that's being automatically done, and fleet management, as well as logistics. At Microsoft, we believe in the following values and principles. We're focused on enabling and empowering people. AI will amplify human ingenuity. Just like any tech, it will allow us to achieve more and dramatically amplify what we're doing every day. We believe in an inclusive design where technology should lower and help lower the barrier to entry for everyone, just like my parents when they talked about the personal PC. And building trust in the technology. This is something where we believe that we should share knowledge and work collaboratively with other technology companies across the world, as well as other institutions such as the government and educational institute to share this information. And next, Stephen will talk about knowledge and AI.
Hi, everyone. So you've heard from Sophia some of the overall concepts and strategies of AI that we're working on and that we're thinking about. And I want to take you through a couple of examples of how we're actually applying AI and knowledge internally to Microsoft, and some of the amazing things that people are doing in the world with the tools that we're providing. So most of you will be familiar with Bing. Bing is Microsoft's search engine, and it's an absolutely enormous platform. It handles about 20 billion searches per month. It's got in the region of 35% of search market share on desktop in the States, and about 1 in 5 queries across all devices come from Bing. So it's this huge platform. And how we try and think about it is not just as a search engine that provides text-based answers to text-based queries, but rather as a knowledge engine, providing you the knowledge that you want based on AI and providing you the actions that you want. So this is where the rubber meets the road, in a sense, for Microsoft for a lot of the AI innovation that we're talking about. So I want to show you a couple of examples, and one that you'll see here is when did Pembroke College in Rhode Island change names? Now, a slight apology in advance. I know these examples are very US focused, and not all these features are launched in all countries yet. And obviously, as a proud Irishman, I'm pushing as hard as I can for international expansion. But I wanted to talk to you about the general concepts that we're looking at. So in this case, what you're seeing is an item of knowledge that has a specific answer. There is one correct answer to this question, and it's 1928. So we look at various sources of information, and we use AI to make sense of those sources. So if one source says it was, 1905, and another source says it was 1945, we can figure out what is the correct answer, what is actually the piece of knowledge here. And that's how AI is helping us augment the service that we provide. Another interesting, similar example is the health effects of coffee. So you're asking, is coffee good for you? And this is interesting because it's not necessarily the case that there is one correct answer. There's a range of opinions, so it's not quite as easy to define what knowledge means or what the correct answer is. And so the AI approaches that we've developed will show you one possible version of the story versus another. So it will give you a more balanced view of what the issue is. And obviously, in today's world of social networking, it's very easy to get stuck in a bubble of content. So this becomes ever more critical. What we can also see, though, is what about if there's an even broader range? So what if you're looking for a cure for a sore throat? So imagine if you asked 5 of your friends, what do I do about my sore throat? You would get 5 different answers. There's a lot of different possible ways of treating it. And what you would see in the Bing answer here is a range of options. So if this was on a touch device, you could swipe through them, or on a desktop, you would click through them. But you're seeing a range of information. And this is how AI is bringing different types of knowledge and different types of information to people. The final example here is if you've done research to buy like a television or some consumer device online recently, you may be familiar with the shopping experience where the features that are important to make the decision are listed against each other. So you see the features that describe one television versus another television, or one digital camera versus another digital camera. And we're trying to take that idea and make it more generally applicable. So in this one, we're seeing the difference between Pilates and yoga, neither of which I must admit I'm tremendously familiar with. But we're trying to give you a way that AI can augment the decisions you're making, the knowledge you're seeking, and using Bing as this channel to help you achieve more and do more. So that's what we're doing in Microsoft. But we also wanted to talk about some of the places in the world where people are using this stuff and what they're doing and how they're doing it. And one of the first examples is probably my favorite story from within all of the AI stories that we have at Microsoft. So there's a French architect called Yves Ubelmann, and I'm sure I'm mangling the pronunciation of the surname, so my apologies. But about 8 years ago, he was in Afghanistan, and he took a picture of a village there, of a village with small mud houses, and there were people around who he spoke to. But he didn't consider it to be a major moment. It was a photograph he took without a lot of thought. And he returned to that site 2 years later, and the village was gone. So the unrest and the conflict that were happening in Afghanistan meant that the village had been destroyed. And there was an older man there, an elderly man, who remembered Yves from being there and taking the original photograph. And that man asked him for a copy of the image, because it was his only link to the past. It was the link that Yves had created. And this sparked an idea for him. So he went back to Paris and founded a company called Iconem. And what they do is they go to sites all around the world: Afghanistan, Syria, Iraq, Pompeii in Italy, Hyderabad in India, lots of different places. And they take huge amounts of imagery. So imagery from drones, from cameras, so in the air and the ground. And then they combine all that together to produce a 3D model, a VR experienceable model of the sites that they're surveying. Now, they produce maybe 150,000 images in a single survey. It's far more than anybody could ever realistically hope to organize by hand. But using the power of AI and knowledge together, they're able to create this 3D representation of what they're looking at based on the images that have been taken from these drones. And I want to show you a video of what that looks like in practice.
Today, right now, historical sites are disappearing, but artificial intelligence can help us bring history back to life.
If you don't know where you come from, you don't know where you go. We use Microsoft AI to help us reproduce historical places.
I need to make it possible because it's so important to do it.
To recreate the sites, we had to stitch hundreds of pictures one by one.
With Microsoft Artificial Intelligence,
we are able to stitch hundreds of thousands of pictures in one night. Before, it was just a representation of the site. With this technology, you can go in, you can experience it.
Let's go in another place. I'm ready for the next one.
Artificial intelligence lets us experience our past. It helps us create our future.
So this is a very concrete example of AI making a difference in the world and the application of AI tools. And I want to talk now about something that's very different, but is ultimately an application of the same breakthroughs and the same technologies that Sophia was talking about. So in China, there is an extremely popular chat experience, a sort of intelligent agent called something like Xiaoice. And this is, I'm sure, another pronunciation that I'm making a mess of. But people talk to Xiaoice, they talk to her. And she reacts with empathy. So there's an emotional intelligence built into the responses. It's all driven by AI and machine learning and neural networks, but it's designed to provide this human experience. Microsoft doesn't want AI to replace people. It wants AI to augment people, to make us more human. And Xiaoice is a great example of this, of what that means in practice. So what happens is that people start a conversation with her on a chat platform like WeChat, for example. And on WeChat, you say something and then she answers, and then you say something and she answers. But that's not how people talk in real life. In real life, people slightly talk over each other. So if we're having a conversation, I both speak and listen at the same time. Microsoft Engineering has developed a way to replicate that experience using AI in a real conversation. So when you've got a conversation that goes both ways at the same time like that, it's called full duplex. And Microsoft has created a way that you can call Xiaoice in China, in Chinese obviously, and have that conversation with her. So it's not like a sort of a fake over and back text chat where you say something and then wait. It's an actual living experience of talking to an AI. It's intensely popular. It's extremely popular. And it's an indication, I think, of things that will eventually spread to other parts of the world. And it's a key way that we have of expressing our intentions for AI, what is important to us as a company. Another example, in fact, the final example that I want to show you is not because it's necessarily such a cutting-edge example of AI, but because it comes from such an unlikely place. So the NBA, as most of you will know, is the North American Basketball Association, of which I know nothing about. Sophia tells me there was some large game recently. I have no idea.
Just the final.
I have no idea. So when there's a game, there's all these photographers around the court, and then they're taking hundreds and hundreds of images. And then people in the stands are taking images, they're making social media posts, there's player tracking, there's an awful lot of data that comes out of any particular game. But focusing on the images that come from the photographers. So what used to happen is that a team of people would gather all of the images from all of the photographers who were present at that game, and then they would tag them for the people who were included in them. So if you wanted to get a picture of a particular basketball player, you could then find that person in the images. That process took 4 weeks per game. So it was really time-consuming and probably very boring for the people who were involved in it. Using image recognition services provided by Microsoft, they've been able to reduce the time required from 4 weeks to 1 day. And not only that, but they can offer different kinds of services now. So, for example, you could tell, is a particular image an action shot, or is it more of a still portrait? And with the technology that we have, you can make those sort of discriminations. And furthermore, you could imagine somebody who wants a shot, for example, of a particular player where they're in the background of the image in the crowd. All sorts of other interesting applications will open up once this data has been made available. And for the basketball teams, it becomes a new revenue source, obviously, because before they never sold this data because it wasn't in a good enough shape to actually do it. But now it becomes a way of reaching out to fans, and extremely popular way, because fans want more data, or they want more interaction with the teams. So AI is popping up here. And the reason that I mention it, and the point that Sophia made, but that we want to close on, is that this is very much like the early days of software, where software used to be in a lab or in a technical company. And then all of a sudden, we jump forward only a couple of decades, and software is in your public library, it's in your corner shop, it's in your local bar, it's absolutely everywhere. Right now, AI is on that transition. AI is in the labs, it's in the forward-thinking businesses, it's in this conference, the people here are talking about it, but pretty soon AI is going to be everywhere, transforming every business, touching all sorts of workflows and people in very unexpected ways. That's a tremendously exciting journey for us to be part of, and we're hoping that all of you will find that equally exciting too and be part of it with us. So thank you very much for your time, and enjoy the rest of the show.
Thank you.